Oh, welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. We are narrowing in right now on the end of January, and I'm just kind of contemplating a lot of things in my life. We seem to end every year rather well. This lean-to here off my shipping container didn't take very long to do. I think the other year we quickly built the front porch off the house right there. In like 2 days, I finished fencing the property at the end of 1 year. Other things, sometimes it just seems to do pretty well. And since then, since the end of the year, I've been progressing on things. It's just been cold. So this project, I actually got some of the kayaks stored up in here now. I'll show you a little bit of what's going on. We definitely still have an amount of stuff to sort through, but this is nothing like it once was. And I still have boards and stuff to pull and separate. Like my wood chipper and other things, they're gonna be stored in this area. I'm working on figuring out how to get the other 2 kayaks in here. I don't want to put too much pressure on the ceiling over there, so we'll see. But here's where a lot of the 6 and 8 foot boards are. I mean, look at that. This downspout, I was catching some in a bucket. We're gonna put a 275 gallon tote here for water catchment, and that's just gonna come at a little sharper of an angle. Got some of the longer boards there. Looks like a pile of 12 footers, 2x4s, 2x6s. Here we've got a lot of the longer guys. I got these pillars I picked up. We've got some like 2-inch oak. Got a bunch of buckets. Those are buckets that were never really used yet. Bunch of 2x6s, some oak, some pine, metal up there, odds and ends. So I'm gonna fill this in kind of still, and then I'm gonna build that wall off the back of here that will be those big flaps of plastic. So that's kind of some of, I want to continue this, use this up. I'm also considering if I put another building over there or right back over there just for added storage. It never seems to be enough, but also, in the grand scheme of things, we're a family of 9 right now. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Does that even turn into a bigger family? I'm not sure, Mom, dad, 7 kids. So to have stuff in general makes sense. And then also, all these free sources, pretty much if I can't build it, like if I can't make it or grow it, and I get it for free right now, I want to store it and keep my hands on it, obtain it and put it into my, custody, so that way when I need to do something, I can do something. But this video, I'm going to talk about some of my goals this year. Obviously, to finish my root cellar, if you will. Some people have kind of been asking about the root cellar and just calling it that. And really what I'm looking for is a basement storage for canned goods. So a cool area that's secure, but I'm not looking for a ground contact, high humidity type thing for my potatoes. I'm not investing all of that time and effort just to simply have somewhere to stick potatoes and carrots or onions or something like that. It's more of a basement pantry storage, and then also a storm shelter for us. So if something happens, I've got a little bit more to do, and I should be able to pour the lid. Once I pour the lid, I'm going to build an outdoor kitchen on top of that. By the fall harvest season, meaning by the time, deer and stuff are being harvested, I would really like to have it be completely functional at least. Part of it's going to include a woodshed, a wood smoker. A smoker, the stairwell, some storage, the whole thing with, just a functioning kitchen. I'm probably going to have some propane in there, some wood, and then also electric as far as just the different options. I also want a slaughter station in there where I can pretty much hang some different animals, hose them off, and let them sit there. I want to get that done this year for sure. I'm also contemplating expanding the front porch on our house. It's very narrow. We've got a lot of people. I also want to take down the 2 sycamore trees right in front of the house, because one's leaning over our bedroom, and I'm gonna remove those and then put the porch out farther. I'm also thinking of putting a porch off of the other side of our home. So taking out trees, adding 2 porches, a lean-to off the back of the mini barn, and finishing the mini barn. I got to redo the roof, and I got to do some other things up top, just to kind of have it be finished per se. And then it should be good. Off the back of it's going to be a place where we can also use as like a milking parlor. But Mama is thinking it might be best to set something up more central. That way, as we have the animals rotationally graze around the pastures, that we can always bring the cow to the middle, somewhere in the middle to milk. So that's going to be something we contemplate here, and I might have to work into my plans. In the grand scheme of things, you know, I just want to have each of my paddocks set up and being used where I let them get up to a good height and then minimally keep my animals in them so that they don't knock it down to nothing. And potentially with like 7 of them, it may be every day of the week that we just move them, every single day of the week. If I'm doing that, I'm going to need some sort of shelter that they have access to in each of them. A couple of them kind of have a shelter option like the mini barn there. There could be potentially 2 pastures that I can use that one mini barn as a shelter in, so that's good. But the garden shed, I'll probably need to put a lean-to off the back of that for our senior pasture. The associate pasture has one right here, and I'm contemplating if I did build one of these little buildings here, you know, build it on the fence line, put a lean-to off the backside, and then I have a dual purpose. So I can be storing my stuff from this side and having the sheep come in from the other side and, you know, get access to out of the rain, out of the wind, somewhere warmer. We'll see, but I want to be really doing that. One of our big mistakes as kind of homesteading newbies, is that we got some animals and we didn't have a place for them. So we fenced an area, let them eat it to nothing. Then we added some fence, let them eat that to nothing, and pretty much decimated our pastures. That wasn't wise, that wasn't good. So now we're trying to go back from there and back, you know, like head back the other direction and establishing some really nice pastures. And I'm going to try to be feeding them hay as long as I possibly can into the year where we really see some good growth of the grass. And at that point, like I said, maybe run them around. So that'll be new for this year. Another thing that I really want to master this year is just some of the stuff at the lake. I didn't start bow fishing until I think 4 years ago now. This will be my 4th year of bow fishing. I took it on spec just because it was a fish with fins and scales that it'd be a good food source for things like gar, things like suckers, things like carp, and we're really, really blessed with the things I've learned about it, and just canning them and using it like a canned tuna or a canned salmon. So like instead of salmon patties or salmon loaf, it's carp patties and carp loaf instead of we got to do like a carp salad helper, like tuna salad helper. I really want to do that, or some carp casserole. We haven't done that yet. We've done like the tuna salad and made carp salad that way, but not like a tuna helper type thing with a hot dish. So I'm really looking forward to that. But then even last year was the first year that any of us ever caught a gar on a fishing pole. That was a new skill. So one of my goals this year is to really master catching gar down there at the lake. I actually was going to pick up some like crab boil. We don't eat crabs, we don't eat crustaceans, but I was going to pick up some crab boil, Zatarain's crab boil the other day, and I had some packets, and then I found a big old tub because gar is such a kind of almost rubbery type consistency, kind of more like a shrimp almost, which we also don't eat anymore. But we can boil it with that flavor in, that seasoning, and just make a gar boil instead of like a crawfish boil. So that is something I'm really looking forward to doing this year, and just mastering catching gar. We really rocked it out for quite a while last year. We had a blast with it, and I want these children to be able to, you know, go out and get all sorts of food from the wild like that. This year we're also going to be doing a whole lot of foraging, and just trying to get a lot of nice food from the wild, and I'm really looking forward to that. Those are some of the main goals here. The root cellar, storm shelter, basement, whatever you want to call it, that's going to be like a #1 for me. And I've got a lot of good resources right now. I've got more that we're obtaining. Things are looking pretty well set up for that. And that really excites me. It really, really does. There's a lot of other little projects in this, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a very uncertain world we live in. So the more we're able to get food from the wild, and the more we're able to do what we need to on our own homestead and be more self-sufficient, the better it's going to be. I think we're doing pretty good at just printing our own chickens, getting our own eggs. We were having so many last year, we were water glassing them. I still got to do the video on water glassing chicken eggs for you guys. I shot some of the footage, but we got, you know, the rest of it to come, and then I'll put out a video on that. But I mean, we literally have a couple 6-gallon buckets, or at least we did. I'm not sure if we ate through one of them yet, in our closet of just eggs from like 9-10 months ago. Yeah, somewhere between 7 and 9 months ago probably. But they're just sitting there in our closet, and they're good, and we like them and we use them. Like, that is so cool to me to be able to produce that much. I don't think we're gonna be buying maybe any more sheep ever. Last time we wanted some new genetics, we got Zeke, and we traded Apocalypse. Apocalypse was a nice big old 4-horned ram. He was, you know, just over a year old, and we traded him for Zeke. So when I need new genetics, I'm hoping to trade rather than have to buy when it comes into things like the sheep. I probably got to downsize the flock again this year, so I'll see what the babies look like, see what the mothers look like, and then start working our way through them just to kind of make sure that our property can support what we've got. The pony is still fun for the children, but it's not something that gives us, you know, we don't eat pony eggs, we don't eat pony meat, you know, we don't milk the pony. So it's kind of in a different category, but it's going to be eating hay, it's going to be eating grass. The cow should be giving birth. That's going to put 2 cows on our property, at least for the time being. And you know, nice young Dexter heifer at the moment, where we can't wait to see what she does. Hopefully she's going to be an awesome milk cow for us. So that'll be one thing too, actually. Having our first milk cow should occur this year. But the kids will milk the sheep too. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. This year, I think a goal too is actually, we've sheared the sheep a lot, but we haven't done a lot with the wool. And there's been some people reaching out like, oh, could you please give me some of that wool? And people, you know, sell wool from their homestead on Etsy and things like that. I want to actually do that. I was starting to do it this year, and I was taking before and after pictures, last year, before and after pictures of the sheep when I was going to shear them, and collecting the wool and having it be all nice, but then all my SD card got corrupted, and I kind of lost all my photographic evidence of the thing, so I didn't have as nice of a presentation to like put out on our Etsy shop, so I didn't do it. I do want to get creative too on some other things that we can kind of produce and manufacture. I like creating wood burning, different art stuff like that, but I also want it to be something beneficial, a blessing to somebody. So whether it's encouraging, or it's Bible verses, or it just looks, you know, really cool, that just, you know, they appreciate seeing them. I don't just want people to waste their money to buy something because it looks neat per se. So if you guys got any ideas of different things we can do just from home. Oh, that's one thing too. Like, okay, so we do sell the seeds from here, and I do have a couple books out right now. We've got 3 different books that are available on Amazon. I think maybe only one of them is available in our Etsy store. I've got to re-up some supplies for that. But I've got 2 books that I was trying to have finished by the end of 2020. And I didn't do it. And then last year I almost did nothing on it. Well, I'm editing the one right now, and then I'm gonna do one final edit of that. And I'm almost to like page 100 out of about 300. It's a painful process to edit, but I want to get that book out this year. And then I also have one I want to get out with Pinky Pepper soon, that we just got to write the story. We got all the pictures, we got the storyline, we just got to write the story, put it together, make sure it's where we want it. But then I got one I'm working with on, you know, Red Pepper too, and we're considering some different things too, like shooting a series of videos with the children cooking. And while we do that, I'll also take some photos, and then we'll put those recipes together in a recipe book. And of course, it's so easy, my children could do it, but it can be for adults too. And then release those videos after we have the thing in hand, so the children can add some sort of introduction of like, hey, you know, we have this wonderful cookbook. It's got some of our favorite ones, you know. It's so easy that we can do it, but it's also good for adults. In this episode, we're doing this recipe. And just have a whole series of them where they all work together. They can be in their own playlist of the children cooking, but then also there's a book that people could purchase to go along with it. And those books, the way that we do them ourselves, you know, they're not going to be that expensive. I wouldn't see it being over $10. But to have some good different recipes, and then as time goes on too, maybe even have it be like a yearly type thing where each year we pick some of our favorite recipes, some of our different stuff, and then put it out there. And some of it I think too should be stuff specific to some of the things that we do, which would mean recipes with carp, or recipes with gar, or recipes with snake gourds, or Malabar spinach, or noodle beans, or different stuff like that. That way, when people are trying to transition more to this lifestyle, where they get encouragement from our channel, where they see us using these things, that they'll have actually, you know, recipes that if they get the seeds, they can grow them and they can kind of follow through and see why we like and appreciate some of the things like that we do. So we'll see. But if you guys got other ideas of things that we could potentially do from home, you know that my heart is here on the homestead with my wife and children. And we like generating whatever income we need as much as we can from the homestead, and also just keeping the cost of living really low. Hence all these free sources and stuff I'm just storing so I don't have to buy it because somebody was throwing it away and now I have it. Yeah, feel free to leave, you know, that type of stuff in the comment section. But basically this year it's going to be a couple porches and lean-tos. I'm thinking it's going to be that root cellar outdoor kitchen project, and then some of those books and other things getting out are kind of my main focus. Ultimately, our daily lives have a certain pattern and consistency to them. We normally eat 3 meals together every day, all family members. More often than not, that's what we do. More often than not, every morning, every night, we start off with our family devotions. We're memorizing scripture, reading the Bible, praying, singing praises, you know. These things like that, they take time. You know, just like sleeping does. So the amount of time we have left is reduced if we just kind of did whatever we wanted all day. You know, those are things that we find important. We have our reasons for doing them, and we do them consistently because we find them to be intelligent. We find them to be wise. And then also, of course, putting out content, whether it's on Hive or Steam It or YouTube, that takes up a portion of my time, but I've got to do something with my day to generate, you know, income for the family. And these are some of the ways that I do that. So I do leave home for work and do travel and handyman stuff and that type of thing too. But if you guys got suggestions for things that could be good home-based incomes, let me know. I also probably this year should try to get out some of our books as a digital copy. I'm not even sure what you call that anymore. Like a Kindle version or something like that. I know some people from South Africa, other places around the world have asked, and they don't really want a physical copy. They want the digital version. So I've got to get that available too at some point. Maybe it's a goal for this year. I'm not sure. Maybe not. But that's where I'm at the moment. Do I think all that can be accomplished this year? Yes. Do I think it's all going to? I'm not sure. Will I be highly disappointed if it doesn't? Not necessarily, but I really, really, really would, and don't mind investing the time and energy and effort to have that root cellar thing finally crossed off the list. And I know some people try to hold me accountable, and I appreciate that. You know, other things kind of take priority. I had 3 priorities. Once it was the wood stove, it was this lean-to, and that. As you see, the wood stove is in and functioning. This is here. I've got some more I need to do to kind of fill it up and have it here. But then the cool thing too is as I do some of those building projects, I'll have less to store because I'll be doing that. And I think one other thing, I do want to burn a bunch of these 6-foot and 8-foot fence pickets I got and redo my living room with kind of a shushugiban decor on the walls, make it look more rustic and more cabin-like. So that's probably gonna be something I do more in the evenings. I'll put some lights out here, hook that up, be able to do that where my days hopefully can be devoted to some of those other projects. But we'll see. it's a variety, it's a lot of stuff. Thankfully the children are super helpful. I was even bringing in wood from the porch to our wood box earlier today, and 2-year-old little bell pepper says, "Papa, I can help you get wood." You know, she's 2, but she's grabbing logs for our fireplace off of our front porch out here where it's cold and bringing them in the house. You know, I love children like that, and there's a reason we raise them like that. We just find it to be wise. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to me. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and any words of encouragement as we kind of start off this year running in to do things, feel free to leave too. Life can be pretty discouraging sometimes, and even when you're generally happy-go-lucky and, you know, joyful, encouragement still helps. I'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you for watching.